Thank you, Art. Good morning, Chair Natalie. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's my pleasure today to come over here to share what we learned in Canada. Okay, as you know, we went to Canada in early September. Okay, and we have a group of 12 people, and 9 of them are our members, and seven of them are here on the panel today. And we like to share what we learned and what we saw during the trip to all of you. Okay, let me give you a brief idea about our itinerary. Okay, it was about 7-day, 8-day, 7-night trip. Okay, we start from Vancouver. Okay, we got the first day first is we arrive on Vancouver. Can you go down, please? Yes.
Trim the lights a little bit so you can see
No. There you go.
Okay, on September 1st, we arrive in Vancouver, and September 4th, and then we just had sightseeing. And September 5th, the 3rd day, actually it was a holiday, and it was very nice of Victoria Association that they had to leadership to make their time to meet us in Victoria. And after that we went to Bouchard Gardens. Have you ever been to Bouchard Gardens? Beautiful, beautiful garden. If you haven't never been there, make sure you go there. Yeah. Okay, and then the 4th day, it was the major day. We spent the whole day with the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver. They gave us a very, very nice hosting meeting there. We're going to share with you what we learned later on. And on the 5th day, we're ready for the cruise. Okay, we cruise back. On the cruise, it was nice of our president, Art Luna. He conducted an SRES class so that we can have the expense tax write-off as well, you know. So yeah, we try to make the best benefit to our members all the time, and whenever we have an expense there. Okay, and then we came back on the 10th. Okay, so we had a fun day, fun trip, and also we learned a lot. So, and also about the cost, wasn't too bad. And everyone pays his or her own trip, okay? This is a breakdown, a rough number for you, for your reference. Of course, we share the hotel rooms or that. Oh, by the way, I would like to especially thank to Margaret. She's the one who arranged all the itinerary. I mean, she arranged all the hotel rooms and cruise trip, all that. You know, that was one of the best trip that I have ever had. Especially cruise, you know. I've been on probably over 10 cruise before, but this one is the best ever. In the bathroom, we even have a bathtub there. You know, really, that's really amazing. And we have window, and then we only paid $250 for this trip. Really a good deal, yes. Especially thanks to Margaret for the good job for us. Okay, I don't want to waste too much time here. And well, let's start from Victoria. Victoria, we have some panelists who's going to introduce us to Victoria. We start from Helen.
Division, and Carol actually is president-elect for Victoria Board. Victoria is best known as the capital city of British Columbia and as a world-renowned tourism destination and called the City of Gardens. How beautiful it is, I believe our president will let us know later on. The Victoria Real Estate Board was founded in 1921 as one of the 12 such boards located throughout the British Columbia. Since I have only a couple minutes to cover Victoria, I would rather to give you a little highlights on the real estate activity update market in October. Actually, there were 483 homes sold in October throughout Greater Victoria, comparing 458 sold in September and 467 sold in October last year. Actually, the sales activity showed a modest increase. However, the overall average price for single-family home declined from $622,000 in September to $595,000. But the median price actually for the single-family home rose by almost $5,000. The overall average price for condominium in October was $307,000, down from $332,000 in September. And the average price of all townhomes sold last month was $428,000 compared to $436,000 in September. So overall, there is a decline comparing October to September. The number of property available for sales actually down, and at the same time, the inventory levels actually remain 16% higher than last year. It sounds like the September is the best month when we showed up, and then after we left, the October kind of declined for all the home sale, not activities, but the price dropped a little bit, not too much. Now I think Bill will cover some of the commercial.
They asked me to be brief. Any questions? They have their own commercial board up there, and they pay a separate membership fee. They're really far advanced and do up there. They're just to give you a rough idea, cap rates up there in Vancouver, Victoria, really low, somewhere between 2.5%, maybe 3%. Okay, there's really the heavy influx of Asian buyers, and right now they're all coming from mainland China. But just kind of giving you a rough idea, and some recent sales that they had up there, 106 units sold for about 153,000 unit. Commercial property, $476 a square foot. Industrial land, which kind of is the same over here, if you can find it, $22 a square foot. Let's see, retail, a retail building, it was a kind of restaurant office combination, $349 a square foot, Vancouver. And then there was another retail building, office building, okay? $463 a square foot. And so you can see the prices are kind of similar to what we're doing here. Any questions?
Is that Canadian money?
Is that Canadian money? Yeah, that was Canadian money. We lost when we went up there, huh? Because the exchange rate wasn't too good. And I don't know if just real quick, I mean, it was expensive. The first time we got there and then we went to a restaurant, it was like, there were, 10 of us that ate, and the bill was like $250, you know? And egg and shrimp was like $22. I mean, so that was in Richmond. I mean, very expensive up there. But yeah, it's changed. Yeah, we're winning now. Okay, and everyone, when they go shopping, when the rate changes, they go all across the border and they shop, and then they go back to Canada. That's how they make it. Thank you.
We're very happy to take this trip to Vancouver, and we learned quite a lot about their association. Vancouver, actually, they merge most of the association to a big one. That's why they call the Great Vancouver Real Estate Association, or Real Estate Board of Great Vancouver. They were starting from like a Whistler. It's just like a Big Bear in our area. So all the way to the Vancouver, the coastline. Of course, they also have some small association in between, but overall, the association we visit is they call the Real Estate Board of Great Vancouver. I would like to introduction of the Real Estate Board of Great Vancouver. We'll start talking about the history, and then the structure of their board, and then the membership, and some education. And the last one, I'm talking about their charity, because their charity is really something we have to follow. Okay, here is the history of the REBGV. They are one of the Vancouver's oldest organization. They established, I just select some the important milestones. They established at 1888, and they formed their first association in the 1920. 1920, they have this licensing act to establish. In 1950, they start to have this listing bureau that's formed like nowadays we call the multiple listing service. In 1996, they have official MLS.ca is established, and 2004 the MLS system, and also has ML Exchange. And the most important, on the 2007, they received the Excellency Award from the National. The second part, we're talking about the structure of this REBGV. They have this director, they have one president-elect, vice president, plus the 14 directors. And they have also management team. Their association based on the staff-oriented operation. And they have a CEO, COO, CFO, and a lot of managers to handle all the business. And then their membership, they have 10,000 realtors. And they basically live or work in the area from Whistler to the Maple Ridge and Tawasin and everywhere in between. And they also, just like I mentioned earlier, have some small association in between. And we should talk about their membership fee. And once you learn, and you will appreciate our association. First, their entry fee, that's just the entry fee for individual is 112 Canadian dollars, and that's just for residential only. If you combine the commercial, you have to pay 504. And for affiliate, it's $560 for residential only, and $784 for all. And that's just entry fee. And they have monthly fee for if you want to access to multiple listing service, and you have to pay $993 per month for residential and commercial. And affiliate, you have to pay $1,200 just per month. And not only that, multiple listing, they only give you one picture. If you want to put more picture, you have to pay another $28. Processing fee, $39.20, and monthly access fee is $78.40. The reason they have these cents because they also have to pay Canadian tax. You know, it's like a 12%. And for the commission-wise, they only pay 7% for the first 100 grand, and then 2.5 to 3% for the remainder. So that's the example here. If you sell a house for the 500 grand, and the commission you will get only 9,500. So it's much less than ours.
And that has to be split between the agents.
Yeah, that's why each side. And then talking about education, they do provide very good education at the association, but you have to pay all those fees for the classes. And you can see for their professional development program, they call the PDP. The PDP, they provide 2 years program. That's because they have to renew their license every 2 years. And then they also have these continual professional because they try to keep up all these current, all these website, Facebook, all the new issue. That's why everybody have to take this continual education, and also the relicensing education program they also provide by the association. Later on, I will show some pictures. They do provide very good education. They also have a classroom and a computer room, so everybody have hands-on education. The last one I would like to mention, they have very, very good charity program. And the member, they have a long history to giving. They have a program called Realtor Cares. It's a charitable program. And they will combine all members' charity to one organization. So since 2007, these Great Vancouver Realtors have donated almost like 6 million for the charities. That's a lot of money compared to our association. And so they also have some program like a blanket drive, shelter drive, blood drive, or realtor watch. A blanket drive, they just starting in every November to December time. They will collect all the blanket warm clothes to provide for these needy people. Shelter drive is they also provide some funding for the people. They need some shelters, especially for the like the domestic violence victims. Blood drive, they also conduct some blood drive to gather all the members to donate their blood at the same time. And the Realtor Watch, they just organize some neighborhood watch, just like our in our neighborhood and in the needy area. So that's mostly my introduction of the Realtor.
Hello.
No, basically I did, but I will show some pictures,
Okay.
so you can start talking about them.
Okay, yeah, because I don't have that much to say. First, in the greater Vancouver area, especially in the northern Vancouver and the eastern Vancouver area, was very expensive. There was a slide I think she was going to show up that showed some of the properties because their values, you can see just on the back of this one agent sold $7,500,000, $7,300,000. I mean, it was all in the millions. The pricing is so high, it was unbelievable. Where we stayed in Richmond was a little suburb by the airport, and in that area we talked to an agent there, and he had a little apartment flat, 600 square foot, and that was a beginning, and that was over $200,000 just to get in. So their pricing is very high. The average price for the greater Vancouver area in sales, however, is between about $650,000, right in that range, but then that's taking in the suburbs. In the month of September, the market they sold 2,246 units in September out of that greater Vancouver, and they had over 16,000 listings in their MLS. And it takes an average of 52 days to sell a home. If it's, of course, like anything else, if it's priced right. Canada is the country that does, and their real estate business most similar to ours. They have the same type of designations. They go to NAR. They have an international committee, and they're very sophisticated in what they do. They actually have quite a few patents and trademarks of some of the logos that we use. It came from Canada. And their way of doing business is very similar. We could do it. The one thing that I found very different is that even their committees and the organization are all staff driven. They have staff personnel that chairs every committee, and they run every committee. So I thought that was quite different. That's all.
Yeah, I can add a few words. Classroom for the computer training, and this is just a regular training classroom. They just have a dedicated room for education. And this is we start working to the association. Here is the conference room. We have conducted a meeting with the board. This is the president of the association.
He's a paisan of mine. He's Sicilian ancestry, by the way.
I was going to say they own their own board. That building's worth about $26.5 million. They own it free and clear.
24 millions they pay. Yeah, they already pay off. It's very beautiful building, 5-story high, and that's why some of the picture will show the view from the building. You can see most of the Vancouver from their building. And even I mentioned their fees so high, but 2/3 of their the transaction all through the multiple listing service. And another thing different than ours is they have no escrow service and also no title reps because their title was guaranteed by the government, and they use attorney to do the transactions.
I think Art might want to add something. Well, okay. Now, Art, you probably want to mention about that. The president is a paid position.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Hey,
So
guys,
when we saw that,
you have it really, really good. You have it really good. Their president gets $60,000 a year. And he's part-time. And the president-elect gets $35,000, and the vice president gets $25,000.
How much do you get?
Pittance.
One other thing I wanted to mention, when I was saying about the cost of living, everything is high. We went to the local market just to get an idea on the cost, and their food, their grocery costs are a good 30% higher than our costs, not to mention the amount of taxes, including transfer taxes. They have a 12.5% user tax that they charge on, and that's on your house. So imagine when you're selling and you're closing escrow, your sellers with these amounts have to pay 12.5%. That's a healthy amount. Gasoline comes to about $6 a gallon for gasoline. They sell it by the liter, and it's $1.50 a liter, so that averages out to about $6.50. So overall, I don't know why, and the weather's not that great. It was beautiful when we were there, but during the winter, they have a lot of rain, a lot of snow, and it's very expensive.
thank you. Okay, we're very lucky that we have one of our feet.
Hi, my name is Oriana, and as we attended the meeting in September at the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver, the big question there was, why is the market doing so well? They informed us that the Winter Olympics actually brought a lot of tourism, a lot of foreigners, and it's the foreigners that came with their cash to purchase these homes. And there's very little restriction on foreign purchases over there. As in the US, there's a lot of restrictions. So Canada had an overabundance of cash flow and less mortgages that could be defaulted. Even on the commercial side, they were saying that the investors brought their own cash to build, so they never needed any type of loans. And here's some distinctive features of Canadian banks. First of all, they have a full recourse mortgages in Canada. Borrowers are fully responsible, even in foreclosure. The bank can file deficiency judgments against the borrower and their other assets, and they can garnish their future wages. Number two is that there's no tax deductibility of mortgage interest in Canada. So there's no tax advantages to home ownership in Canada. Number three is Canadians have higher prepayment penalties, which discourages the kind of refinancing that frequently took place in the US, leading up to our housing meltdown. And banks in Canada keep and service 68% of the mortgages, whereas we try to sell it off to a third party or investor. Also, Canadians have fewer, or they use fewer mortgage brokers, only 35% versus the United States, well, not about this year, but maybe last year and the last few years, 70% in the US. And they have a very small subprime market, if any at all. Canada remains the only industrialized country in the world that has survived the last 2 years of financial and economic stress without a single bank failure.
Thank you, Ariana. So,
It's kind of neat, so it's automatic, it's included in the system and the fees and everything, so they try to do some advertising for you also. Here's some samples if some people want to look, if you want to look at some prices. You didn't show any pictures of the cruise, or how?
Cruise, it's okay. Oh, we don't have time for that, I think. Do we? Probably not, huh? Okay, well, I'll flash it later. Anyway,
80 cents Canadian. So it's really flip-flopped. So, yeah, you know, it's a beautiful place to visit, and it's a beautiful place to live there, but the taxes and the price will kill you.
I might mention, Art, when he bought those tennis shoes, they were elevated tennis shoes. And the only short sales in Canada, it appears, are short people. The city, and Larry, he visited, and believe it or not, in Vancouver, they have a nude beach. Larry visited, but he's not here today to give a report.
oh gosh.